Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Overtime, your one-stop shop for all things Rocket League, eSports, and RLCS. I'm your host, Wave Punk, and my friend Carpet here. We both all have houses.
We do.
Our houses are here. Some people were actually concerned that we actually lost our houses, and it was the fire was legitimately like on the other side of the street from my house, and it was like up the hill from you. But the California firefighters are great.
It was well taken care of. I did get a really cool moment where I was like standing at a street, kind of like just. I don't know how to say like watching a fire, but we were.
It's burning.
It was just kind of cool to like watch it come down the hill. Like it wasn't a threat, it wasn't moving that fast. But then like we heard a helicopter getting close. Like I wonder what that is. And just over the hill, like just like hundreds of gallons of water just come pouring on this thing. We're like, oh my god! And like it was like spraying us. We smelled like barbecue afterwards. It was really cool, really fun.
The whole
Weird thing
entirety
to
of
think is
Burbank
cool.
smelled
Barbecue.
like fire this entire weekend. How are you guys' houses doing? Are you guys fine up in San Francisco?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I
I'm
haven't
fine.
been home in a while, so.
I've never had to experience raining ash until I came here. That was a weird moment for me, living in California for like almost, my entire life, and then coming to Burbank and it's raining ash.
It was funny.
Car wash companies are gonna thrive.
Oh, they're gonna be like, yes, please. They saw the raining ash. They were like, yes, a gift from heaven. No, I loved Gibbs' tweet. This is the first time his wife and child have come out for the RLCS broadcast. They're down here celebrating their 5th year anniversary this week. And he's like, we're here for RLCS to celebrate my anniversary, and it's raining fire.
Yeah. It's Mordor.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's probably Gibbs' fault.
No.
He showed up.
Gibbs showed up.
Burbank's trying to get him out of there. It's like, let's just anything.
Burbank was
Let's
celebrating
get
the
Gibbs
chosen
out.
one. Guys, season 4 of RLCS started this past weekend, and it started off with a bang. So many teams qualifying that we expected, and then a few making the upset. It's been crazy to watch these guys play. We could talk about the North American teams that qualified. It was so exciting to watch the teams we had questions about actually making it through. Cloud9 and G2, thank goodness they qualified. And you can see down there at the bottom, Emotion. Who are they? We'll talk about them later, but those guys going to definitely be a big story and a team to watch as we move forward. The other teams filling out our top 8. NRG and Rogue qualified last season. We have FlyQuest, Ghosts, and Renegades making it all out.
It sounded like you just held a conversation with yourself. You're like, we see Emotion out there. Who are they? We'll talk about them later. Wave is going crazy.
But no, everybody knows the Rogue drama happened in the offseason. Turtle, now he's actually a substitute on G2 eSports, the starting position given to Insolences. So even though they are automatically in to this league play, a lot of question marks around them. But I think we all breathed a sigh of relief when we saw G2 and Cloud9, two of the biggest teams, make it, because Cloud9, previously the Muffin Men, previously Iris, they had the #1 seed in Season 3's qualifier and came up short. I don't think they would have even made the RLCS last season with where they finished. So it was good to see all of the big name teams minus Fibian make it in through the qualifier.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Fibian, I would have had it all right. We were arguing on Overtime like 2 weeks ago. You guys are like, oh, G2, Cloud9, they're going to fail. Someone's going to fail. And then it's like, I had confidence in everybody, especially Fibian, and then
Get crushed.
Yeah,
Get
it all
crushed,
went downhill. Thanks, guys.
And this is huge, though, because there's no more. This isn't going to happen anymore. We're never going to have to worry about will G2 make it. I mean, now it's like, will G2 drop RLCS? Will they stay? Or if they do break up in the roster, then they have 2 seasons to come back, and that's a whole other ordeal. But there's no more of this big weekend of how many people are we going to see upsets and not. It's how did you perform throughout the whole season? And we're not going to get caught off guard. We're like, well, they haven't done well all season. Now they have to try and keep their spot.
It's going to shift way more away from, you have one day to prove everything into more of a, elongated experience.
Yeah, and the promotion relegation series is so important. And I don't know. I think we're still going to have to worry about G2, Carpet.
What?
The one thing about G2,
I'm just saying, man. They have not given me confidence ever.
You're not wrong.
Ever.
Like, G2 fans have to be extremely frustrated at this point. They've won very, very few things, and for all the big tournaments that we've ever had, they've not shown up. But the one thing, they have never been in the bottom 6. I don't think they have to worry about them dropping RLCS just yet. And if anything, the fact that they can take off that weight of if we don't make it into the playoffs, what are we all going to break up? Roster shuffle's going to happen. No, they've got that spot for now. They've just got to stay in the top 6.
Well, last season, we all know how that panned out. They actually fell down to that 7th spot, I believe, right? They fell down to the 7th spot. They didn't make the playoffs. But even in that situation, if they do that again, it's not guaranteed that they're going down into the rival
still have to
series.
lose the
They
relegation.
have to lose that relegation match. So I think it's a great move for stability, and I'm just excited to start seeing the history of these teams build up over time, because they're more higher chance that everyone's going to stick together.
Yeah, and you talked about it. This is the biggest season. No more qualifiers for RLCS because we have the Rival Series. The Rival Series is here now. We can take a look at the teams that qualified for the Rival Series here in North America. Quite a few teams here that we maybe expected to see. Some premature superhero cops was a team that people were talking about, like, oh, there's some good guys there, but don't think they've got the RLCS material cut out. But Set to Destroy, also a team that was borderline between. A lot of people felt like they could make it in either one. But Out of Style, Lachinio's team, and then Fibian down there, a team that everyone expected to see in RLCS, going to have to play through the Rival Series if they want to make it in RLCS next season.
I think prior to this, the thoughts in the back, I think everyone's head, like, I wonder if I could make the RLRS. And I see how stacked this is. I'm like, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't think so. This is a stacked league.
It's going to be tough. Who's going to get top 2 out of that pool?
I think I have no idea who's gonna get top 2, but I've got my money definitely on Incognito. They knocked down, I think, both Hollywood Hammers and Splice into the losers bracket. I mean, to knock out 2 teams that people were expecting to make it to the RLCS, you can't disrespect the RLRS. These guys are the real deal.
Yeah, and even Set to Destroy, they have RLCS experience. Gambit making his comeback. He, in the first split of Season 1, was the key to iBuyPower Cosmic's victory at that first regional championship. So, that's a lot of really big names. Even Justin, we've been talking about him on Out of Style. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Those aren't going to be low caliber games. We'll see RLCS quality games from watching the Rival Series. So tune in on Fridays.
Yeah, for
11 a.m.
I'm actually really curious to know how that's going to pan out, especially because the stress, while it is high, it's a little bit different, right? The RLCS is the money is there. There's a huge prize pool. There's so much on the line. There's a chance of going down. But for RLRS, it's pretty much just you just want to go up. And I think the performance from a lot of these teams, especially for the people that haven't been around as much, Gambit, Lachinio, I think it's perfect for them to just spend a whole season grinding out what it takes to compete. And I'm actually I would be more scared for those teams as an RLCS team.
Especially for those players who have previous RLCS experience, but then they kind of took some time off to kind of get limbered up again and get ready to try and make a change.
Both of them. Both Gambit and Lachinio.
They're technically, and just off the top of my head, you have premature superhero cops, Out of Style, and Set to Destroy, who all have players that have RLCS experience down in the Rival Series. Fibian was a team we were expecting to make it there. They didn't quite pull it out, and it's so tight to the point that Hammers and Splice, 2 teams that were favorites to make it into RLCS for some people's opinions and at least make it into RLRS, don't qualify at all in this situation. So these guys, it's getting so tight here in North America, a place that's been generally having a bit more disparity than Europe.
Yeah, that was huge. Hammers, they actually got knocked out by Emotion, which was sent into the lower bracket by a team called the Dudes. The Dudes, the Dudes. They also took Ghost to Game 5. So,
oh really?
Yeah, but they failed to even make it into the RLRS. So that's a team that I would have loved to see play because they had some really good performances, but they didn't make it into the RLRS. But still, that was such a shock to see the Hammers go out because everyone knows how big of an Espeon fan I am. That was devastating to see them not in there. And then Splice Karma, she's been working so hard for so long.
And with Pluto as well, former teammate of mine.
He's made it. He's played on the land stage at the World Championship every season up to this season.
So and then just doesn't qualify at all. Not even to RLRS, just 3 RLCSs in a row, and then he's out.
Yeah, so that's going to be a tough spot for them, but it's not over. There's still going to be, after the season, 4 RLRS spots that open up. The bottom 4 teams of RLRS get kicked out, and there's an open qualifier for that. Or they could try to just
what do you guys think? This changes everything for the teams that don't make it in. It's so much more difficult to get an RLCS now. They're going to have to qualify for RLRS, play through that, get in the top 2, and then beat a team from RLCS for the next season to qualify. And if they don't beat that team, they have to play through RLRS again. What do Hollywood Hammers and Splice do with their rosters right now? Do these players stay on the same teams? Do they mix it up? What do you guys think is going to happen now with the teams that are left outside the circle?
I mean, it's tough because everyone they're going against right now is going to have maintained rosters. This is where this is pretty much the end of the reign of the roster swap. At most now you can only lose 1 player, or you lose the spot that you worked so hard to get. If you lose a spot in RLCS just because you can't stick together, that's got to be crushing because it's going to take you at the minimum 2 seasons to get back.
Yeah.
So I'd suggest they find what they need to do now and like stick with it.
Yeah, you really need to pay close attention to who you're putting on your team. I think back to like season 1, it was like me and Sat Jr. and Pluto, and then me, Pluto, and Moses, and then it turned out to me, Pluto, and Espion was like our final roster. That's like 3 different roster swaps in 1 season. That's never gonna happen again. And so even players like Vince, who's such an incredible player for that Hollywood Hammers team, he didn't make it into even the RLRS. If he wants to get to the RLCS, like you said, his only chance besides just completely starting from scratch is going to be to get onto a roster that's already there.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be easy because you want to maintain your spot. You need to keep 2 spots of that team
it's going to be 2 starters. So there's 4 spots on a team. There's a sub spot, 3 starter spots. You need to have at least 2 out of your 3 starters. So you're either going to hope to come in a starting role or get that sub position. And we've seen players come in through those sub roles, like Dude with the Nose at DreamHack.
Turbo
Pulsa,
over
subbing.
0.
Yeah, and so, it's not impossible. So it's just going to be how do they want to approach it? I would imagine if they really think they're a good unit, they'll want to stick together. But obviously, there's some players on teams like Vince for Hammers where you think like maybe they're the best on their team. Maybe they're not going to want to stick together. Maybe they're going to try to go and replace someone else, maybe who has a weak
turtle type
showing.
of situation with Rogue.
Yeah.
So the big story of North America, we had all these teams qualify for RLCS we were expecting to see there. Some of the teams that we expected to see there not even qualify for RLRS, but the big one for us was Fibian versus Emotion. These guys, I'm playing the piano here.
Get emotional.
Just play the piano up and down.
Get
Put some
emotional, Quinn.
sound effects here. Emotion.
What was that? That's making emotional.
Oh my goodness.
I would never
He
want to be
told
around
me get
someone who's sad.
emotional.
Don't ask Quinn to get emotional again. I can't handle it right now.
Just say a sentence he kind of disagrees with. That's all you got to do.
Vivian was a team that we expected to see make it, and they had probably the most hype for a rookie team in the preseason. And for the 3rd season in a row, the most hyped team preseason does not qualify for RLCS. I really feel like that preseason hype curse is a real thing now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ty, he was the kryptonite of Fibian. It felt like he had a really good series.
We'll get to talk to him later, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say about going up against Fibian. Had to be an emotional roller coaster for those guys, but they qualified. Now the question I kind of have for you guys right now, like Emotion qualifying through into the RLCS. We've seen this happen before, where the team that doesn't qualify, or the team that we are expected to qualify, gets knocked out, and then the team that took their spot doesn't necessarily have the best season. Do you think Emotion's got a chance to reverse that here?
I think we're going to have to wait and see. I think it's going to be very, very tough for them. Because we saw this exact same thing you were alluding to, Set to Destroy last season.
Yep.
They win without winning a single series. They won just a handful of games in all of their series.
Basically, James' way of giving you a big fat no. So, I mean, not that I disagree with you, I did think that Fibian was very underwhelming in that match, and so I don't really think we got an accurate,
Super
gauge
young
of their
players.
performance.
Both teams were absolutely horrified that game. I could tell. I was
They were scared.
I thought
But
they
they
were
were-
about to say both absolutely horrible. I was like,
No,
man.
they were both. All 6 players were so scared to be the reason for the loss.
implication.
So they were playing so kind of safe, which inherently made it more dangerous because they were so scared to actually dedicate to things. So they were hesitating on a lot of their touches. They weren't dedicating to things. They weren't following each other up because they just wanted to you hopefully get a solo goal and maybe I'll be there for it. But then nothing ever was no drives were more than 15 seconds on
The
either
trademark
side.
speed of Fibian was not there.
Yeah.
What I really hope is that we get to see Fibian make it all the way up. If Emotion does not do very well and ends up in that bottom spot, it would be so cool to see Fibian in the top 2 and see if they get to play against Emotion to see if they can finally get that spot back. It's one of the cool things about the RLRs. We
Vengeance.
get these long storylines between these teams. So guys, it's been pretty cool. So we're going to get to talk about North America here. When we come back, we'll take a quick break. We're going to talk about Europe. Do it all again, just over on the European side of the pond. Stick around. Overtime will be right back. Welcome back to Overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We just got done talking about North America. Now it's time to hop the pond. I like how we call it a pond when it's like...
It's way bigger than a pond.
It's like 2,000 miles in diameter.
But it depends on your scale. Like,
in diameter.
If that was on the sun, it'd probably be a pond.
And
how
big are sun people?
I mean, there's some really big suns too. Like
Yeah.
our sun isn't even the biggest sun.
Yeah, there are bigger suns.
They are way bigger
Yep.
stars because the sun is a star.
But he's my son.
I don't know why we're talking about this. We've gotten a little off topic here.
It's okay. It's fun. We go around the sun, so it's relevant always, you know. Over in
The
Europe.
center of our universe.
Exactly.
It was raining fire the other day. We're allowed to talk
Exactly.
about
Our
the sun.
space terminology is a bit rusty today.
It tried to
guys.
destroy my house, James. The RLCS was crazy in North America, and then things seemed a little bit more like standard over in Europe for RLCS until we got to the end and crazy things happened. We can talk about that a little bit more in detail as we go on, but let's take a look at the teams who qualified here for RLCS. Was some no surprise at the top two because they were going to be coming in from last season, but then Excel, Gale Force Esports, Frontline, oh man, I want to talk about those guys. Mocket Esports, Method, and then Aeriality. Who's Aeriality, Caleb? Oh, we'll talk about them later. Who is conversation?
He's embraced.
Stop talking to yourself.
He's embraced his second personality.
It looks weird.
They can't even see me.
The thing that they
Yeah, but
can't
okay,
see.
it sounds weird.
Well, the thing the viewers can't see when the graphics up is he's actually talking to his hands.
Yeah, his hands are.
Like one of the little puppet masters.
Oh man, no, you guys are saying false things right now.
Hey man, they couldn't tell.
Yeah, these guys, Flipside and Envious obviously qualified from Season 3, but Excel makes it through. Gale Force Esports, it was another team kind of in that Cloud9 category that we were like, really hope these guys make it in, but for me, there was significantly less questions about Gale Force.
Oh, yeah.
They have been having so much success right now.
Any questions?
It's just that the qualifiers are always so
How
scary.
much will they win? That's the question about Gale
Yeah,
Force.
yeah,
How badly do they win?
badly will they decimate every other team?
Like, imagine though, like Mystic, he's already in the RLCS under Flipside, and K-Dop, you know, teammates with Mystic last season. Fairy Peak, he had to requalify with Mocket, but like K-Dop, he was like a star of that team. Instead of staying on the same team and being guaranteed a spot in league play, he's like, no, I'm gonna go form a team with Turbo Pulse and Violent Panda. So that took some bravery
Turbo
to like
too.
give up, to give up your spot.
Does it really take bravery to team up with Turbo Pulse and Violent Panda? Like, is that a thing?
I mean, when you are sacrificing something you have
if
guaranteed.
you're one of them, though,
Guaranteed.
then you only have one star teammate. Like if you're Turbo Pulsa, then like
But Turbo wasn't going to start. Like Turbo knew
Yeah.
that he wasn't going to start. So him going to another team,
had to make
like
moves.
he wanted to be a starter. He's starter quality. K-Dop on the other hand, that was still a good team. That
I thought you were
he
about to say
had.
K-Dop wasn't starter quality.
Oh,
Like
no,
he was starter
he's
quality.
very
But K-Dop on the other hand, not starter quality.
That whole team was still a really solid team, but
Yeah.
they still decided to call it quits and re-qualifies. So that was a bold move.
Yeah, we'll talk about Aeriality in a little bit because I do want to talk about those guys. But first, we're going to talk about the rival series for Europe and the teams that qualified over there. These guys are going to be competing to get into RLCS next season, so we're going to have to be taking a look at them here. Endpoint, who just actually came off of a win at Gfinity, I believe, are going to be one of the first teams to qualify. E-Hawkers, Juicy Kids, some names here that we're not as familiar with, but the Supersonic Avengers, a very common name, slightly different roster, but ELMP, the main common denominator there, they'll be competing as well. And also the Leftovers down at the bottom, guys. This to me is like the Fibian.
what's the
Figure
biggest
story.
surprise here? E-Hawkers is the number 43 seed. Not even on our list
fan
of
team, I
teams
believe.
to look at. That was a huge list.
Pashy himself, he was like, I've played Danny Anna before, but I have no idea who those other two guys are. He's the most prolific scout and rocket.
Yeah.
You know, he knows who everyone is.
When a pro on a top 8 team doesn't know who you are, you know, like that I know as commentators, like we're always like we're following the top 8 teams, but oftentimes we can lose like track of bubble players and stuff like that, and people all be like, oh, I don't know who this guy is, and they're like, what? How do you not know who this guy is? He's great and stuff like that.
we play him in matchmaking all the time.
Yeah, we play him in matchmaking all the time. I'm like, I'm just out here at Platinum, leave me alone. But like Pashy, when Pashy doesn't know who you are, like yeah, I don't know.
That voice crack was great.
But these are
Way
some good
fun
names.
number 2.
I was actually I was pleasantly surprised by eHawkers, especially GCR. GCR was that guy in particular.
Those
I was
dribbles,
watching,
though.
Yeah, he was making people look silly with his
I mean,
dribbles.
eHawkers just as a whole were so surprising because when you look at like number 43 seed, for everybody who doesn't realize, I mean, RLRS is supposed to basically be like
Top 16.
seeds 8 through 16.
Mm-hmm.
They're number 43. They are well beyond the RLRS. I mean, that's like just doesn't even stand a chance, and then they come in and like decimate their way on in.
Yeah, but the team is most interesting. Like, I'm excited to see how they play, and do they pull off, you know, a set to destroy sort of situation where they're like they weren't supposed to be here and they just got lucky, or do they actually make waves? They've got a great opportunity here. But the team that nobody expected to see down in the RLRS here was the Leftovers, and they had just a crazy day. 2 different series that just no way went their direction, and opened the winners bracket. They faced off against Frontline. And I was so hyped about Frontline coming into this season with Farah. I thought Farah was great in season 3, and I was really excited to see him play. And he did not disappoint. His roster, especially with Bluey, these goals from Bluey happened all day in this series, where they swept the Leftovers and sent them down.
Yeah, Bluey, he actually got removed from team. I believe it was Infusion with Doomsy and Sevenum. And he goes out and teams with 2 other high-powered offensive players, Chissette and Farah. But Bluey, like, he was blowing my mind.
Yeah.
With those shots. That kid was nasty.
I mean, just in general, when I knew we were in for a treat. I'd seen Blue play before. So many people knew how good he was. But again, when this much pressure's on the line, and especially when they're going against Leftovers, he has to look at his teammate Farah and know, like, this is big.
I think that like it's just not fair to even call Leftovers anymore. I think they need to swap team names. Frontline, you mentioned that Bluey got removed from Team Infused.
Booted.
We got kicked.
Forcibly removed.
Yeah,
Security
out of
guard called.
Farah too.
Tossed out of the front
Farah
door.
and
Called his
Chissette
house
as well.
to
Chissette
stop
was on
messaging
Gale Force.
Doomsy.
It's literally all 3 players who were kicked, and like, I don't know why, because when you see them together, they are absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and the Leftovers are down completely the other way around. Like, you've got Sicky, Snasky, and Maestro. Can you, like, having Maestro be just like, oh, whatever team, no, like this is not a Leftover storyline anymore. And to be fair, we've been talking about the Leftovers being the reverse sweep team and stuff. They've had opportunities to reverse sweep in like the last 3 sweeps, the last 3 series they've been in, extending back to last season. Haven't been able to pull it off. I kind of don't really believe in the reverse sweep story.
We just can't talk about it anymore.
That story's dead. But Frontline, seriously, those guys.
Story's done.
I cannot wait to watch that.
And Farah tweeting out like how ironic that I'm able to beat my old team to get into the RLCS.
That was revenge for him.
Yeah, and then
they should be called the Revenge Squad.
Revenge Squad. That's so much cooler than
Vengeance.
I mean, Frontline's pretty cool.
Vengeance is a little edgy. Vengeance. We are vengeance. And every time they step on the pitch, they have to do some sort of chant.
They have to do the haka, even though none of them are Islanders. Like, we saw the Leftovers drop to the lower bracket and then go up against Aeriality in the last series of the day. And we were like, okay, surely Leftovers has got it figured out by now. All veteran players, and they almost got the reverse sweep here, going into overtime game 5. But that's the name you see on your screen right now. Ty Lacto came up in all 3 of the overtimes to score. Was such a clutch player, and we see Aeriality making it into the RLCS.
Yeah, it really was Ty just going off. Those
All the
goals in the
ties.
biggest moment. Yeah, that was. It was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Leftovers fan. Seeing that happen, it was incredible and heartbreaking at the same time. But this is still a great story for Aeriality.
I was so pumped to see these guys scoring all over the place, and it's just great to see the upset happen, because like we were like, is there any other things?
No.
Yeah, here's you just having the reaction.
Cam.
I don't want to say it again.
I was like, Carp and I were
Gibbs a
casting.
statue?
He doesn't even move.
Is he a wax statue? I'm actually more concerned for Gibbs. There he is. Gibbs breathes.
Oh my goodness.
Can you see James turns over and looks at Gibbs like, did you see that? It's just totally emotionless.
Having a kid changed his life.
Gibbs is like, I've been here before.
Well,
Happens every season.
Yeah, I love Snasky. Like Sicky, although he says like 10 words to you at the live event, I still like Sicky. And then Maestro, man, he's a lot of fun. So I was really bummed because
he makes me feel self-conscious about my face because he's so pretty.
Super handsome.
But that's
not the reason I like him.
We talked about
Fair
Siki
enough.
making
Just
it.
one of the reasons.
Siki's made it to every LAN with 3 different teams, 6 different teammates. This season, there's not a chance.
Yeah.
He's done. And I felt really bad for Siki on that one, too. But
that's a heck of a record.
it was so crazy watching that. And it was funny because, we're casting this game, and you're right next to me, on the desk, and I'm, seeing you jumping out of your chair, and I'm excited, too.
Yeah.
And, when the final goal happens, you're standing up. I've never stood up sitting in that booth before, and I, jumped up. I feel I can't believe this happened. And then Quinn pokes his head in the door, what just happened?
Yeah.
The whole studio is
I joked about it
freaking
on there,
out.
but literally, I see something out of the corner of my eye, and Quinn is just closing the door behind him, looking at me what just happened? And I'm like, I don't know.
Carpet was I'm shaking. I couldn't bear to watch that. It was so much stress just watching it. And there was 40 seconds left on the clock. And a lot of people are gonna blame Siki. They're Siki, you shouldn't have hit that. Siki got them the chance to even be in that game with that dribble play that he had that beat the entire defense and allowed Maestro to slam it in. It was an unfortunate play, but you could also argue maybe Snasky was up too much. But you go back and watch that.
It's a
Ty
team
had a
game.
nasty shot too.
Yeah.
He got up so quick and got a really powerful shot from a side angle.
I think it's just something with the name Ty because we looked at emotion.
Yeah.
We look at this team here. All the teams that had upsets to make it into the RLCS or RLRS had Ty somewhere in their team name. What?
I felt like you can people want to look at Siki. I think if you're in a situation where
everyone's fault.
it comes down to 1 goal in overtime
Literally,
in
all
game
6
5,
players.
you can't blame one thing. And honestly, I felt like Siki was playing the best on the leftovers roster the
It's a
entire
team
game.
game. You get to that situation as a team where one goal can hurt you, and just because you made the most recent mistake doesn't mean it's your
There were
fault.
3 overtime games. They didn't win a single one of them.
Yep.
They had a chance to get that reverse sweep and continue their legacy, and they just came up short. They tweeted out, we don't belong in the RLRS. We're going to show it. So we'll just have to wait and see if that comes true.
But leftovers, we'll see if they can pull it out down there in the rival series. But one more region, can't forget about it, OCE. These guys also had their qualifiers, their play-in for their region. We had 2 great teams from last season show back up. Chiefs ESC, formerly known as Alpha Sydney, and Jam Gaming, the 2 teams we saw in the World Championships. They are back to compete again. And rounding out that league over there, Pale Horse Esports, Legacy Esports, Scylla Esports, Avant Gaming, Conspiracy Esports, and Noisy Isn't Toxic. Thank you, Noisy Isn't Toxic, for not putting esports.
I don't
or gaming.
believe him. Anyone who has to make their team name that means Noisy is very toxic.
I actually think that you change your name to Noisy Isn't Toxic Esports.
Yeah, no, these guys, it's going to be exciting to watch their scene develop. It's been growing for a while there, and we don't live down there. We don't sit with that scene, so we'll definitely have Yummy Cheeseman on soon to talk about that region a bit more and give us a bit more details. But that does it for our wrap up here. We've got a great show in store for you guys. Ty Not Tyler from Emotion is here to talk to us. It'll be a lot of fun to hear from him. But we got so much good stuff. Top 5 plays coming up too. It's going to be great. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's favorite game show right here, right now. We're going to do like, dislike. You've seen it before, but you didn't see it with James. James is going to do it. We sent Carpet home.
Bye, Carpet.
He'll be back. Don't worry.
Oh.
He'll be back.
Dang.
He's just not doing it right now.
Okay.
We're just going to do it just us. It's going to be great. If you haven't seen this game before, the way it works, I'm going to make a statement. Okay? Just a statement. Not a question, a statement. I'm going to call them questions, though, probably, because I mess things up all the time. And then we're all going to put forward our thumbs on whether we like it or whether we dislike it. So it's just how it works. It's called like, dislike. Ready to play? Let's play. First question coming up here. NRG wins NA again. They've won it all 3 seasons. Thumbs out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, I didn't know we were all doing it at the same time.
Oh, yeah, we're all doing it at the same time.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
What are you thinking?
Quinn, I don't know. 3 seasons in a row, bud.
Yeah, every season since
You
the
know what
beginning
else
of
was
time.
3 seasons in a row? Sticky making it to the RLCS.
Oh, it's a season for change.
Wow.
See, that's over in Europe. Doesn't matter over here.
Just saying.
Oh my goodness, that was really mean.
I mean, here's my thing.
It was the truth.
I think Cloud9's got a good shot at taking it away from them. I think G2, maybe this is their year.
No.
But here's the thing.
I don't know why you're the one giving the explanation here when it's me who disagrees.
Excuse me. I cannot, after 3 seasons in a row, doubt Jacob and Fireburner and Garrett.
Well, let me tell you what. This season is the first season in NA that we have more than like just 2 teams actually being able to probably vie for that spot. So if there's ever been a season where someone doesn't do it 3rd time or 4th time in a row,
NRG hasn't lost yet.
They haven't lost.
How are you
they
doubting?
haven't played yet.
What do you mean they haven't played yet?
We're talking about the past 3 seasons.
in history.
Well, I was talking about season 4.
They're
They haven't played it
3-time
all in season
defending
4.
That's what I
North
was
American
saying.
champion. They were the only team in North America to finish in the top 4 at the World Championship, and you're doubting them.
All these questions are maybe.
Cloud9 wasn't
I
there.
can't believe it.
They might all be just like a little bit
so
too
that's
early.
who you think's going to take it?
Hey,
Cloud9.
we're
huh?
trying to do a show here.
Sorry.
Okay. Quinn's crazy, but we already knew that one. Next question. I can't wait. What's it gonna be? Again, I said I would call it a question. It's not a question. Statement. Leftovers gets promoted to RLCS after this season, so they make it into the top 2 of RLRS and then make it through the relegation. 1, 2, 3, go.
Boom.
Oh, look at us.
We agreed. Nice.
We all know how this works.
She didn't clap so loud.
Oh,
That was good. That was meaty. A meaty.
this one was actually probably the one I was the most borderline about. Actually, I felt like Leftovers just did not impress at all during the qualifiers. What are you laughing about?
Production just came out. They're like, "Do not smack your hands."
I don't know if you heard. I clapped my hands, and they're like, "Don't do that again." And then you're like, "High five!"
Whoops. But no, we all agree. Leftovers. In my opinion, that series versus Aeriality, they should have had that when they had 3 overtime chances to put that in.
coulda.
That was the difference right there.
Yep.
One goal could have been the difference between RLCS and RLRS. And I think, I saw Snasky tweeted out, "We don't belong here." And we're going to show it. I really strongly believe the Leftovers will get a chance at revenge against Aeriality in the promotion round.
We all believe it. We all agreed. Don't have to say any more about that one. Number 3 here, Method. Method the team makes the playoffs. 1, 2, 3, go.
Boom.
Bing.
Oh, man,
wow.
you both thought this was it? That
Yeah.
was okay. Look, they looked great in the 2v2.
He just goes
NBC.
right to his excuse. He's like, "Okay, wait, look." He's
It's
like,
not
"Before
an
you
excuse,
attack
no.
me."
It's not. No, it's just strong defense is good offense, right? Something like that here. They looked great at NBC. I was so impressed with Mets and Mog on the 2v2 scene, but then you just put it into the 3v3 world here, and a lot was not showing up in the way we wanted to see them show up. And I felt like I don't know. They had to do it in 2 tries. It took them a long effort to get
I
it
guess
through.
you could say they need a lot of practice.
They need a lot of practice.
Easy. That was really bad.
I mean,
It wasn't bad. It was.
I feel like
good.
we've made more puns about his name than any other name, just because it's like the
it
easiest
just-
thing in the
yeah,
world. It's
yeah,
a golden
it's
platter.
But I think Method they missed out on the World Championship against Flipside barely. Like it was so close, and they beat Flipside in league play last season. I think Method. This is really going to be a breakout season for them. I expect them not only to make the
Yeah,
playoffs,
I totally
but maybe
agree.
even make the World Championship.
This is the first time let's do a really soft high five.
Production is fine with that.
You guys are so weird.
Hey man,
That's your whole excuse, though. That's all. Method's just.
You're just like,
their
"Oh, they
year?
had one bad performance." Well, let's look at Leftovers. You think
I mean, Alot
Mr.
was really bad in those games. Those own goals by Alot, you had mentioned it. They were like,
I'm telling you, a lot's got to step up before I can believe.
If Leftovers is going to make it to RLCS, I think it's going to be the same for Method.
All right, we'll see. Well, next one, moving on. Next statement about North American MVP. Squishy Muffins becomes the North American MVP. Ready, set, go, boom. Oh, man. Quinn. Okay, so here's the thing.
We know
the
where
funny
his-
thing is, okay, I think we know. Who do you think it's going to be? Wait,
Well-
can we say that? Can we say it on 3?
Me? Like who the MVP will be?
On three. I'll cast it out. 1, 2, 3.
Garrett
Jacob.
G.
Okay, we're on the same page though. NRG still.
Because they're gonna win. We obviously know that you are in the boat of Cloud9.
These guys are
drank the
fanboys.
Cloud9 Kool-Aid.
Totally illegitimate fanboys. You're just like, oh, energy.
Illegitimate
You didn't even
fanboys.
agree on the same player, and you're like, we're still on the same team.
doesn't matter, doesn't
It's because we have faith in NRG.
Yep.
You think you have
Four-time
bought
champs.
Cloud9. You have bought into Cloud9. Why?
What do you mean why? They just destroyed NRG at DreamHack Atlanta. You saw them. NRG's done.
It's a one-off tournament.
Game over.
One tournament.
Yeah, so
Three-time North American
NRG's
champions.
3-time
yeah,
NA championship record. It's a
Only
one-time
one.
deal.
Okay. Next one. Here we going through.
It's not a question, it's a
It was basically the same thing as the first one, right? Next one. Emotion wins more than 3 series. 1, 2, 3. Ready, set, go.
I went early.
Okay, we all. I said 1, 2, 3, and I usually say go after that, and then I said ready, set, go. So that was my bad. But yeah, I think we all. Here's the thing: we have yet to see a team be the upset team and win more than 3 series. So I don't know if it's going to happen.
I am basing this off what happened last season. We had Cow-Nose, didn't win a series. We had Set to Destroy, didn't win a series. I think we are seeing a similar script with Aeriality and now with Emotion. So although I'm disagreeing with that, they might surprise us, but I think 3 series
Cool.
would be
Hey,
tough.
we all agree.
I actually
Go
thought
ahead.
3 series was the exact amount I would see them winning. I could not see it being more.
Okay, well, that was the question. So we all agree on that one. We'll just continue to move on here. Sad Jr. is better than Kronovi. Ready, set, go.
Boom!
Oh, wow. Man, James and I are on the same page here right now. Sad Jr. looked good, but I don't think he's better than
How
Kronovi
many
right now.
BMWs does Sad Jr. own? Huh? How many world championship titles does Sad Jr. have?
Okay, let me clarify here, all right? Kronovi is an excellent player, but there's just something I think about the way he's been playing lately and his mindset that's really hurting him. And I think as of now, Sad Jr. has become a very selfless player. He just is like totally focused on his team and winning. And I think Kronovi still has to make that step in his evolution as a player. So for now, Sad Jr. I think is playing better than Kronovi.
Oh, it's a good argument, but I think
He won
it
Player
just
of the Week
depends
for North America.
It depends
Like,
on
there
what
you go.
think. Okay, 1 week. That's 1 week.
Yeah, so right now, Sad Jr. is better than Kronovi.
No, because we gave him 1 award. Okay, I see how it is.
In the play.
Yeah, 1 week's all we need for me to be true.
Okay. We got to move on. We got to keep going. Last question here. Okay, the last thing I'm going to ask, and this takes a little bit of explaining. Maestro would have qualified if his name was Tystro because of Tylacto, and Ty is not Tyler. If he had had a Ty on his team, he would have named. That's what it is. 1, 2, 3, go. What? You and I are in sync on this one. Okay,
What is this?
It's a question. It's a thing.
yourself.
It's a
Ty, not Tyler. Tylacto. And then all we need to complete it is Tystro.
Maestro
Unfortunately,
is-
we didn't have it. Guess you didn't qualify. Maestro. Boom.
Why not?
There you
Why
go.
not?
You think changing your name is all it takes?
It's like,
to
how
make
like
that
athletes
difference?
will like get a new haircut.
So
and
they
then
had like
just suck.
Psyche or Tyaski, like that would have worked
Those
too.
don't work. Tystro, however, has a perfect ring to it.
That is the.
If you're listening to me, Tystro, it's coming to you soon.
Don't do it, Maestro.
This is like the. This is one of the
Don't listen to
dumbest
this guy.
things
He's
that's
been
ever
wrong
said on this
every
show.
single topic.
I just don't know.
Except for
I
the
don't know
ones
what
we
you're
agreed
thinking,
on,
man.
of course.
I don't know
Oh,
what you're
yeah,
thinking.
okay, buddy.
Guys, there's no winner here, but it's a fun game to play. Had a great time. When we come back, speaking of ties, Ty, not Tyler, is on the line. We'll get to talk to him, see what he says, how he felt about beating Fibian in the play-in. It'll be great. We'll have more after the break. Welcome back to Overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Season 4 is here. We are off to the races, and every season we have RLCS, there are some new faces that show up, and it's great to get to talk to them. We've got Ty Not Tyler on the line here from Emotion, qualified back on Saturday in North America. Ty, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Always the first question I ask people when they come out here for the 1v1 here on Overtime. How did you get into Rocket League? How did you find this game?
I found out about Rocket League. It was way back. I was watching Summit play it on his stream. I think that's how a lot of people found it, but I was just like, this game just looks fun. So, I was a huge CSGO player back then, so I was just like, I just need something to relax on and play for a bit. So yeah, that's pretty much how I found it.
I love how you found it as like, I just need something to relax with, and now you're a professional in the game. Did you try and go professional in CSGO as well, or is this the first game you've tried to go pro in?
Not really. I've always been somewhat of a competitive player in all the games that I've played, but yeah, CSGO is very taxing, so I was just looking for that break.
Yeah, well, and here you are at the top here, so can't take it too casually anymore now that you're in the professional scene here in RLCS. And talk to me about your team here, Emotion, because this is a new team for a lot of people. A lot of people have never heard of you guys. Tell me the story of finding your teammates and forming Emotion.
Well, I was kind of, I focused a lot heavily on 1s and 2s when I played the game. I just, focused on getting high up there. And, I tried forming teams that never really worked. But I tried to form a team with Seabass before. That didn't really go through. And then Aleutian sort of came along later. And, one night we were just playing together. We were having loads of fun. So we were like, why not? Let's just make the team. And then, yeah, we actually ended up getting pretty good. So we're just like, why not just try and go serious with it,
Cool. So you just found people through the community. You didn't know these guys before Rocket League, did you? These weren't like friends of yours. These were people you met through the community?
Yep.
That's really cool. Is there any story behind the name Emotion?
Not really. We were just looking for a name that just rolled off the tongue, sounded good, and that's how it was born, basically.
That's cool too. Talk to me about Seabass and Aleutian, your two teammates here. What sort of people are they? Is there one of you like more rambunctious than the other? Like, talk to me about them.
I'm usually the loud one, the one that's making all the jokes. Seabass is very, quiet, but he likes to jump in every now and then. And then Aleutian's, he's kind of sarcastic, but he's funny. So it's just a really good group that we have. We get along really well. So it's honestly just really great that we're able to team and do so well together.
That's awesome. So good friends on off comms, and then like on comms in game. Talk to me about the play style of your team and the dynamic. Are you guys really boisterous during games, and like who's the main defender, who's the main lead guy? Do you have roles, or is it just mostly just rotating? Like how does Emotion work on the pitch?
When we first started out, there were a few problems like. Seabass, for example, used to be like a really aggressive player, but we're honest with each other. We sit down, we tell each other what's wrong. So basically now all we try to do is we just try to be really aggressive in teams' faces and just try and keep our rotations clean, always have that person who's going back, So it's not like one person's set doing everything. We're all just all over the place, trying to do as much as we can for the team.
Yeah, for sure. Is there a particular leader on comms? I mean, you mentioned that you're probably the loudest of the group. Is that carry over into game?
Yeah, I'm usually the one who after the series is talking about like what we did wrong if we lost or what we could be doing better. But both of those guys are phenomenal in comms. They're very talkative about where they are on the field, who's got the next hit, and if one of us, if it's an emergency, oh, I can't hit this, they immediately are able to cut in and save us from that disaster that's about to happen. So it's really communicative and it's really good. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I know there are a lot of pro teams that have been in the pro scene for a while can struggle with comms even. So to hear you guys having a mature comm system is really, really cool. And talk to me. Let's move over to Saturday, okay? And you guys come in, and very few people were expecting anything out of you guys at all. How did emotion feel coming into the play-in, and with no, how did you approach that weekend, especially looking at all the hype around it and how like very few people had you guys in the conversation? Did that affect the way you approached the play-in?
Not really. If there's anyone who knows us better, it's ourselves. And we knew that we could give a good run in the winners bracket. Unfortunately, as you saw, we fell to the dudes a bit early, which was kind of unexpected to us. They played really well, and we just weren't ready for it. But I think that was the wake-up call that we needed. And then, obviously, we came through the losers bracket. We played a lot better, and, we made it in the end. So we tried not to focus too heavily on it, but,
Yeah, well, that's good. So just playing your game, going through, not getting disappointed by dropping into the lower bracket, and you make the run through the lower bracket, and you come up against Fibian. And what was the energy like with you guys? What were comms like right before that match against Fibian? Was there, you're going to play this one match, and you can be in RLCS if you win this. Was the pressure starting to get to you guys at that point?
Yeah, it was like nothing we've ever felt before. We were talking about the feelings, and we're just like, this is insane. It was the wait that killed us, because we had to wait something like an hour and 40 minutes for our last game to get going. So, we were just very anxious. We were very nervous. We know Fibian's a good team, so we were just like, hey, let's do it when it came along. So
yeah. Man, and then that game was an amazing game. Okay, you go the first 2 games, you guys win. You go into game 3 with a minute remaining. You're up 2-0. When did it start to sink in for you that we're actually going to beat Fibian here and qualify for RLCS?
So now, this is the thing about that is we tried not to get. This is usually our problem, is we like to get ahead in series early, but then once we realize we're there, we get impatient. We just try and get it over with. So we just told ourselves, we're like, this is important, this is serious. Let's forget that we're here. Let's calm down. Let's just play the game, focus on our hits, focus on winning. And yeah, let's play our style, and let's not let it get to our heads.
Yeah, and it really worked out. Fibian, one of the favorites to win here, dropping in and going. You guys relegated them to the rival series. They're going to have to play an entire season in the rival series to have a chance to take that spot back from you guys at the end of the season. And looking forward, expectations for season 4. Obviously, everybody wants to win it all, but specifically with season 4, specifically for Motion, what are y'all's personal goals for season 4?
Well, before this season, actually, some things came up. Obviously, life goes on. School came along for some of our players, and we were going to disband. But after this came along, we're like, we made league play. This is amazing. So now we got to, give a little more effort into it and whatnot. So, yeah, it's just
move forward, just keep on going for it.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
Just
try to do the best we can.
Yeah, I love that you guys were thinking about man, is this really what we need to do? And then you qualify, and now let's take it seriously. Let's move forward. So I'm excited to see you guys play. Can't wait to see how the rest of league play goes for you guys. It's going to start up this coming weekend. One quick question before you go. I need the story behind your username, because who is this Tyler guy that you're so adamant that you're not? Talk to me about Ty, not Tyler.
Well, my name is actually Ty, and all throughout my life, teachers, people that I've met, they just ask me, they're like, is that short for Tyler? And I'm just like, no. So one day I was just thinking about what's my new name going to be online? It's got to be original. It's got to have a backstory. So I'm just people always call me Tyler. Ty, not Tyler sounds, rolls off the tongue really nicely. So I just stuck with it, and then here I am.
There you go. Tyler and NA, we had Tylacto over in EU, the tie game showing up here in the upset games. Guys, so much fun to talk to you. Any shout-outs you got before I let you go?
Shouts out to my boys Virgin and Caillou, probably the 2 funniest people I've ever met. And yeah,
cool.
2 really cool guys.
Love it, man. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. Good luck in the rest of season 4.
All right, thank you, man.
Awesome stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, Ty, not Tyler. My goodness, he just clarified that, and I messed it up right there. Taking the time to talk to us here on Overtime. Always good to hear from the pros here. We got a great show in store for you. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, got a lot more fun stuff happening. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with Overtime. Welcome back to Overtime, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a great show. We've had a good time, haven't we, Carpet? Hasn't it been fun?
It's been fun.
It's been a good show.
It's been a great show.
Which show is your favorite? It's this one, right? The answer is yes.
It might be next one.
It might be the next. Okay, sure. Yeah, well, how are you guys doing?
This one is my favorite show, but there's a lot of room for improvement. So it's probably the next show.
Notice how we look directly into Quinn's eyes.
Yeah, this will probably be the last overtime for me for a while. So
We're gonna miss you, man.
hey, man.
Well,
I'll
guys,
be on the weekend.
it's been great to have James. James died for this.
I
But
did for
top
G2.
5 plays from Europe and North America from the play-in. A lot of fun. Let's take a look at North America and then at Europe. Had some great ones. Take a listen.
To stay a little bit more aggressive as he bumps that defender moving out. And Vladimir with a beautiful touch, reading that off the ceiling. Goal number 1 going to Vivian.
This isn't worth talking through. Nothing to say. Let's just watch Vladimir do what Vladimir does. What a beautiful touch. Get a couple of contests, get a couple 50-50s. They don't stifle each other. They're spaced out. They're just waiting for
What a shot from Illusion! Are you kidding me? Out of the corner. This is a play as we've seen from any of the top 8 teams, doing it all by himself. What a play to give his team the lead. Onto this, they make it in the championship series. Timmy fakes out to and Moses in to take the shot. It'll go through. The 2-goal lead for Renegades.
That is what separates these two teams. This decision-making from Timmy, forcing Gambit out, forcing Prem out, Dapper putting pressure behind Prem, knowing that he was potentially going to get the demo, so Prem had to do something.
First 2 games give his team that berth into RLCS. The shot here, can Zach Jr. finish it off this pass? He gets a reverse goal, but this is a reverse pass too, my goodness.
Corrupted sees an opportunity, puts it right over Dapper, nearly on target. Somehow, Sad Jr. was able to read that off the crossbar.
Going for a ceiling touch, tough to read, gets the second jump reset, and he gets the goal. What a play from Justin. What a ceiling shot here. Getting that first touch is floating and sting underneath it. Oh, and then the half-step shot here. It actually was coming off. Gilforce always ready to push it back. A shot top left. K-Dop showing his own accuracy on this one.
Oh, just starting so fast here. Again, their ability to utilize space here, putting that ball high up in the air for Turbo Bosa, and forces the defense to rotate back.
Midfield moving it there from the front line. Bluey over the top. Open net just has to drop it down and in. Finally finding a hole in the rotation, and it's 2-0 for Frontline.
And talk about a debut goal for Bluey here on the RLCS stage. You can hear him fluttering that boost all the way up to it.
Cherry pick. He's got the pass towards a lot. Can they complete this play? The shot from a lot, it goes in. Look at this team play, all up in the air. Beautiful stuff to tie the game.
This was really clean. Met all the way out to a lot. At this point, he knows he's not going to have a lot of pace, but put it on target. Zen just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
He was even kind of sitting.
Look where they're going. Well, Bluey, what a shot! Oh my goodness, from the corner. What a way to start game 2.
Catching me off guard when I'm still trying to joke around at the beginning of the game. Bluey. Oh no!
It's past Nasty.
Nasty,
Makes it that in! It goes through! He wins! Oh my goodness! Aeriality in 5 minutes and 49 seconds of overtime. Oh,
Keeping
6.5 games of Rocket League.
keeping their composure.
You know what's funny on that last one? I don't think I've ever as a caster said, he wins. He wins! He did it! He won! Like, I was just like, I've never said it before, but that was just such a big deal. That was the importance of that goal there, was the fact that Aeriality made it into RLCS.
Not only was it a sick shot, just the implication of that shot was out of this world. So he's gonna save that clip.
Man,
Oh, yeah.
Quinn, what was your favorite goal?
Honestly, probably that one, just because of the amount of hype that was going into it.
a big
Like,
one.
I mean, we talked about it already. Like, just how insane it was. Like when it happened. I mean, I just couldn't believe it that Leftovers got put to RLRS.
Yeah,
And there was still that blue. There was one more Bluey goal that didn't even make it on. That was like top quality as well. So
All of Bluey's goals
Bluey
could have probably made
We're
a
just
top
like,
5.
should we give him 3 spots? No, that's too much.
the Bluey show. What was your favorite goal?
I mean, just watching Bluey do what Bluey does, considering that now I finally get to do it here on the
Hashtag
stage and
Bluey
test
things.
it. Hashtag, whatever it is. I mean, even just like the double touch, he makes it. He rotates his car and then he's done. He already knows like this is what I'm gonna need in about 10 more feet. Like boom, and it's just, like he makes it look so easy. It's so pretty. Some of the cleanest shots.
Guys, it's been a great episode of RLCS Overtime. We've had a blast. The Season 4 has begun. Week play begins again this weekend. It's going to be so great. Be sure to be there. We'll have a good time. Tune into RLRS on Fridays, and you guys have a nice week. We'll see you later.